Welcome to the Lightning Round, brought to you by Moviga. I'm Brian with your weekly source for all things movies, video games, and more. Now grab your ponchos and let's catch up on this week's news. WB wants Peter Jackson to return to direct more Lord of the Rings movies. I am so excited about this news. The original Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of my favorite sets of movies, and to get more content along the same lines from the same director just gets me so hyped. But speaking of, Amazon thinks that Rings of Power will succeed despite the new Lord of the Rings films, that they'll be able to stand on their own, and I agree. I think Rings of Power is very different. It's telling this kind of canon-adjacent story, which is interesting in its own right, and I'd be excited for more of that as well. I really enjoyed Rings of Power. Jonathan Kreisel in talks to direct Detective Pikachu 2. We've been waiting for the sequel for such a long time, and I think the first one had some of the best use of CG animation in a live-action movie that I've ever seen. Some really, really cool leaps forward there. So to see a sequel would be so great, and it looks like they found their director, hopefully. Sons of the Forest, which is a survival game, has been beaten in less than 9 minutes. Which is pretty incredible. This is a game that is notoriously difficult and has many layers and lots of mechanics in it. YouTuber Benjamin Romero has posted a video of him beating the entire game in less than 9 minutes. That's just absolutely insane. The game director for Star Wars Jedi Survivor wants to make Cal's story a trilogy. Jedi Fallen Order was one of my favorite games the year it came out. I've replayed it many times. It is just a super fun, kind of like an easy Souls-like game and set in the Star Wars universe, and I just cannot wait for the sequel. I love Cal Kestis as a character and the characters that kind of surround him, so hopefully this leads to more content. I would love to see Cal in live action, maybe in The Mandalorian, but here's hoping, and here's to at least one more game. Shazam 2 director says that there is a possibility for more films despite the new DCEU direction and the new bosses over all of that making decisions, sometimes cutting characters that people have loved and adding new ones that look interesting as well. Personally, I love Shazam. I think that movie is fun and upbeat, and sometimes superhero movies can feel kind of heavy and serious and kind of lose that comic book fun, so I would love to see more Shazam. I think Zachary Levi is awesome and would love to see him in the DCEU, but if not, I am still very excited for the new direction that the DCEU is going and looking forward to more movies. Well, it looks like the storm has passed. Be sure to check out the Moviga podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're talking all things movies, video games, and more. I'm Brian, and thanks for joining me this week for the Lightning Round.